Hey guys, Wade Willis here for Wade's Weave Reviews. Now I'm going to start doing episode reviews for the new season of Scientific Railgun. I know we only have like 5 episodes left, but I'm super into the whole series, the Index, Accelerator, Railgun series. So I'm going to start doing that, and hopefully we have some more seasons of all of these shows after this. I got my fingers crossed for sure. Now, this episode starts off with Misaka running into Kana, the little girl with the fanny pack, and Kana basically tells her, "Hey, you need to take me to the bus stop," and makes her kind of makes her do it. And she starts talking about the whole Indian poker thing and the bust upper card in particular, and then starts just basically roasting Misaka on like anyone who would get that card must suck to be them, all this stuff, and just the reactions uh, of Misaka are freaking hilarious in this whole part. I love it, and then eventually Misaka catches on that it must be Misaki behind this, the girl who does the brainwashing with her remote, and calls her out. Which once those two are involved, and if like as soon as I saw Misaki come into this, I was like super pumped because when those two get involved, they're such a dynamic duo. I freaking love it. They're almost unstoppable together.
お店に行ってくるわ。何かさっきだって。ジョー、止めませんと。今日だけは特別に目撃者の記憶を改ざんしてあげるわ。あ、ダメだ。この二人が組んだら完全犯罪もたやすい。
Then it goes into oh, and then Misaki also starts making fun of Misaka about the bust upper thing and how she found out about it because she was looking into this guy's mind who was selling those cards, and then saw the whole situation with Misaka and the other girl fighting for the bust upper card. And then Misaka goes and grabs Misaki's boobs and like mentally breaks herself from doing it, realizing that they are actually huge, which is super stupid. But then in the episode, they flash over to Judgment, and they are talking about how Indian poker is a huge issue because it's exposing Academy City's secrets, which I didn't really think of. But if these cards are getting passed around and you're seeing different things in Academy City, it makes total sense that this is like a security issue. So, and then they kind of like talk about this in the episode through like two different groups, Misaki and then Kites, who used to be involved in the level 6 program. He was kind of overseeing security, uh, and they're talking about this girl who came up with the whole, and it seems like she came up with the whole thing at this point, Indian poker thing. Her name is Kariba Ryoko, and when they show her picture, automatically I kind of remembered she was the one we see in one of Misaka's Indian poker cards. She has like the black and white hair. She's in the intro to this new part of the season. And Misaka had kind of that really weird dream where that girl eventually splits into half. Well, now we see why she split into half in that weird dream, because we find out that that she was basically split in half by scientists, but not like down the middle like how in the dream. She was basically kind of cut into pieces, and then they made two different bodies with her body parts, and like they made two different bodies. Both were half cyborg and half Kariba. So pretty interesting that they did this. Now, I guess their idea behind this, or the reasoning that people think that they were doing this in the first place, was for like cybernetics and for people that have lost limbs, which is kind of a valiant cause. But doing that to someone is, I mean, the ethical issues are ridiculous. Oh, and I don't want to forget when Misaki's telling Misaka about this. She's trying to explain all of these things, and Misaka's like kind of lost in thought, zoning out, like mumbling about boobs. And Misaki calls her out on it. Sorry, I have to bring this up because this is one of the funniest parts to me. And Misaka basically tells her, "Well, I thought your boobs look big because of your bra strap." which made me laugh a lot because I remember when I was in like middle school and high school, I remember girls saying things like, "Oh, that girl's boobs look big because of the bra strap." So super funny that Misaka said that. I thought it was pretty relatable to something you would hear from someone in like eighth grade that hasn't hit puberty all the way, or maybe she has and she's just never going to get boobs. Regardless, so then they start getting into Misaki starts talking about uh, the soul and everything, and Misaka makes a reference to there's this theory that like 21 grams of your body is basically lost as soon as you die, and a lot of people have made claims that because of that that's proof that the soul exists. Which does that really prove anything? Who knows? But there is a good movie, 21 Grams, if you haven't seen it with Sean Penn. I would suggest watching that to anyone. So they start talking about the clones and the soul. And what they realize is so after 1 year of having these two separate bodies, both half with this girl, half cyborg, they put the whole human back together and then they put a whole cyborg together. And what they found out is that there were still two souls, they think. Now, this is pretty interesting. And the whole idea that they're tackling with the human soul, one, it's pretty deep as a whole, and I don't think many shows really talk about this in a way that makes you think like this does. Because now this kind of made me think back to like Frankenstein, where I mean he's made up with a hodgepodge of parts. His brain is that guy who was convicted of I think a bunch of murders, multiple murders. Now, is the soul from the brain, or is the soul a separate soul, or is it a mix of it? There's a lot of things that go into this, and obviously this is science fiction. Frankenstein's not real, but with how cloning of body parts and things are going now, it is very interesting. Especially when you think of now they're growing like ears on mice and things and all that stuff going on. So very interesting the implications of this. So and if you don't believe in a soul, I guess it means nothing to you. But I think it's pretty interesting. So what they find out is where they refer to that cyborg version as the doppelganger, and she thinks she's at this point a real human. So pretty interesting. Um, and then Misaka is kind of asking Misaki like, "Why are you interested in this? Why do you want like me involved?" And Misaki was talking about. She talks one Misaki's um, partial to a lot of these things because we think back earlier in the season we had all that stuff with Dolly and all of that. Makes sense that this is kind of going to be a little bit more important to her. She's not a huge fan of scientific experiments on people, um, and she brings up to Misaka like, okay, if they accomplish this one time, what are they going to do next? Like try it another 100 times? Are they going to have more child errors? Are they going to try to implement this on more clones? So kind of really hits it home for Misaka a little bit. And then Misaki even offers, hey, like if you help me out with this, I'm willing to use my influence and stuff to help the other Misakas kind of assimilate into society and basically influence it so that they're out in society and don't have to be hidden and things like that. So and then Misaka is confused as to why she would agree to that, and Misaki needs Misaka's help because it's a robot, and Misaki doesn't think that she's going to be able to control robots at all because obviously her thing works on a regular human mind or her ability. Although we don't know what's going on. Is it a brain that's in Misaki? I'm unsure, or is it all robot? They didn't really get that much into it. I'm assuming it's all cyborg. So then Misaki and Misaka get word from Kites through an intermediary um, that of the location of the doppelganger. So Misaka's um, climbing up this huge building, research facility, uh, and then she sees the doppelganger fall from the sky Misaka tries to save it with like using basically these you mean tarps and stuff. I don't know exactly what they were, but kind of tarps to kind of block her fall. But the doppelganger just bursts right through it, and uh, Misaka's kind of like, I think she says like that should have worked on like 100 kilos. So that machine weighs over like, you mean 220 pounds probably at least. So kind of shows how lethal it's going to be if it doesn't like something. Then we kind of go into the facility and see that um, that she broke out, and the thing that kind of led her to that was she had this mug that was from her mom. It falls and breaks, and she starts thinking about it like, oh, I got this from my mom. Wait, I don't remember anything about my mom, my family, all this stuff uh, before I got to Academy City. Then she starts thinking, wait, I don't remember anything when I got to Academy City until I was split into two. Um, she's going to pick up the mug and it kind of cuts her, but she doesn't. It looks like almost like kind of oil or something. It's not red like blood. So then she's like starts thinking like, am I human? And you see that she's like peeled her skin off, and then you see you mean the scientist that has been running the thing, and the guy has a bowl haircut, so automatically I like this guy even less, even though he's an evil scientist. So I already didn't like him, and you see that uh, he's kind of questioning like how she's supposed to want to protect herself. Why would she jump out of this multiple story building? And then you realize, well, only her GPS is destroyed, and I think like one other safety lock thing, and she destroyed all the research in the facility as well. So then he basically says like, hey, we need to track her down, obviously, um, and Misaki, uh, they go and find Kuriba, the non-doppelganger version, and she tells them that she warned the scientists that this would happen with the doppelganger. So that she would eventually find out that she's not a human, and the scientists basically said, well, we'll just study more then, see what happens at that point, which is, in this show, a typical scientist response. They're not known to be the best guys a lot of times. Um, and at one point, I think it might have been a little bit before this, doppelganger is going in the. She basically is in this one hideout that There's been a ton of scenes in there, and there's some like, you mean ruffians in there. They go to like touch her, she just shatters this guy's arm. That's not. I already knew she was going to be strong. The one thing that she's kind of noting, she's like, thoughts are in the brain. The heart or life is made from the heart. If someone removes the soul, do you really think that the body is vacant? So very interesting and very thoughtful the way that the doppelganger is looking at things. And then we see at the very end of the episode, Scavenger, those like four girls that got totally curb stomped by Accelerator. They're like basically their intermediary who hires them for stuff is talking to them, saying that they need to go find the doppelganger and that they're on thin ice, which I don't understand how you expect those four girls. I mean, they're powerful, but Accelerator is so strong. Um, so, and the next episode is called Scavenger, so I'm really excited. I know that it's probably going to revolve around them, and um, it looks like the doppelganger in the previews, doppelganger and the regular Kuroba or Kuriba are kind of like fighting with each other, not against each other, but with each other. It looks like against Scavenger. So I don't know. This is going to be a pretty interesting next episode, and this one was awesome. I'm a huge fan of this series, like I said, and I'm going to be doing these every single week, and then I'm going to be doing basically a review on the series as a whole, trying to get more people to watch this because this is a really underrated series, and I would love for more people to watch the Index Accelerator, Railgun. Get more into the universe like I have recently. Hey guys, this is Wade Willis. Thanks for watching my video. Here's 2 other videos I think you might like, and don't forget to subscribe to my page.